At the age of 76, King Charles III has left the nation stunned by appearing in a national address, officially confirming that he is battling Parkinson's and COPD. This was not merely a confession about his health, but a turning point for the monarchy itself, as he announced the transfer of power and major responsibilities to Catherine, the Princess of Wales. What stands out most is that this decision was not given to Camilla, his current wife, nor directly to William, the heir to the throne, but instead placed entirely in Catherine's hands. It is undeniable proof that Catherine is not just a supportive figure, but the very symbol of stability and trust in this turbulent moment. She embodies dignity and compassion, and unlike so many others who have been shadowed by royal scandals, Catherine has remained untarnished, admired across the nation and beyond. Her emergence at the very center of this transition shows that she is now being positioned as the key to securing the monarchy's survival. Her elegance, intellect, and quiet strength are precisely what Britain needs most in this defining moment. But the pressing question remains: can Catherine carry the immense expectations King Charles has placed upon her shoulders? And how will other members of the royal family react to such an unexpected transfer of power? Stay with us as we uncover the truth behind this shocking announcement and the ripple effects it is already creating within Buckingham Palace. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel and share your thoughts in the comments below, because this story is only just beginning, and you won't want to miss what comes next. On an autumn morning in 2025, the world stopped to witness a moment that would forever alter the British monarchies. King Charles III, standing before the nation with Queen Camilla and Prince William at his side, revealed a truth that carried both courage and heartbreak. At 76, already battling cancer, he confirmed he was now facing Parkinson's disease, along with chronic obstructive pulmonary disease. The weight of those words lingered in the air, his voice steady yet edged with vulnerability, as though every syllable carried years of struggle. The announcement was not merely about illness, it was about change. In a decision that stunned both the gathered press and those watching across the globe, Charles declared he would begin transferring his powers to Princess Catherine. The choice was as symbolic as it was historic. It wasn't William, the direct heir, who was singled out, but Catherine, the woman who had quietly grown into one of the monarchy's most trusted figures. Those in the room recalled a visible hush sweeping over Buckingham Palace. Catherine, who had been standing slightly apart, was said to be overcome with emotion, tears welling in her eyes, not only from sorrow over the king's condition, but also from the immense responsibility being placed upon her shoulders. To the public, she has long been a beloved mother, wife, and future queen. Yet, in that instant, she was thrust into a role that required more than titles or lineage. It demanded resilience, empathy, and an unshakable sense of duty. Observers close to the royal family revealed that Charles's decision had been made after weeks of reflection, weighing the stability of the monarchy against his declining health. The moment was not just about succession, but about trust. Trust in Catherine's ability to embody continuity while guiding the monarchy through uncertain times. Questions now swirl. Why Catherine? And why now? What unseen forces shaped this choice? And how might this transfer reshape the royal family's future? The answers remain in unfolding. But one thing is certain: the balance of power within the House of Windsor has already shifted. But could there be deeper reasons behind Charles's timing, ones hidden from public view, perhaps even from the royal family itself? Stay tuned, because what follows may hold the clues. King Charles's hidden struggles and Catherine's rise. The king's voice, calm yet heavy with fatigue, carried across the hall like a quiet confession. He spoke not only as a monarch, but as a man staring directly at his own frailty. "My family has always been my anchor," he said before turning the world's attention toward Catherine, Princess of Wales. In that moment, he entrusted her with a responsibility that went far beyond ceremony: the leadership of a nation. Gasps rippled through the audience, and within minutes, royal watchers across the globe were in shock. What stirred even more intrigue was the mystery surrounding his health. Officially by some, Buckingham Palace confirmed a new diagnosis, separate from the cancer he has been managing since February 2024, but offered nothing beyond those sparse details. The silence fed speculation at an alarming pace. Analysts, commentators, and ordinary citizens took to social media, weaving theories into a web of unanswered questions. If the king's condition was not disclosed fully, what was being hidden and why? Whispers soon attached themselves to every public appearance. At a state dinner in 2024, witnesses noticed him laboring through his speech, his breath shorter than expected. At first, this was brushed off as exhaustion from a demanding schedule, but now it was seen in a different light. Could this have been an early sign of chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, a progressive lung illness that often strikes in later life? COPD could explain the fleeting weariness that seemed to cling to him despite his determination to project strength. Others turned their focus to subtler details. During a formal greeting earlier this year, his right hand appeared to tremble, barely perceptible, yet enough to ignite whispers of Parkinson's disease. A brief moment, but one that fanned debate across television panels and online forums. Parkinson's, with its gradual but relentless grip on movement, seemed a plausible explanation for the strain occasionally visible beneath the king's polished composure. All the while, Catherine's reaction spoke volumes. As Charles placed his trust in her before the world, her quiet tears revealed the collision of duty and emotion. She stood not simply as a princess or a wife, but as the chosen figure to shoulder the monarchy in uncertain times. The silence of the palace has left room for endless speculation, but one truth remains undeniable. The king, battling visible and unseen burdens, has already shifted the balance of royal power. Princess Anne stands beside King Charles's decision. When King Charles revealed his intention to transfer key royal duties to Princess Catherine, the announcement sent shockwaves throughout the United Kingdom and beyond. Yet among the many reactions, one voice carried particular weight, that of his sister, Princess Anne. Known as the hardest-working member of the royal family, Anne's steady presence and unshakable loyalty have long earned her the reputation of being the monarchy's backbone. Her support for her brother's decision has become a powerful signal of unity at a time when the House of Windsor faces immense challenges. Anne has never sought the spotlight, yet her influence within the royal circle is undeniable. Since the passing of Queen Elizabeth II, she has quietly stepped forward as a trusted advisor to her elder brother. Those close to the family say Anne understands better than anyone the strain Charles has endured, not just from years of duty, but from his ongoing health battles, having stood beside him through decades of public service. She has seen his resilience tested and admires his courage in choosing to prioritize stability over pride. Her acceptance of Catherine's new role reflects not only faith in Charles's judgment, but also recognition of the monarchy's need to evolve. Publicly, Anne has praised Catherine for her tireless dedication, describing her as a figure who embodies both grace and grit. Behind the palace walls, her endorsement carries even greater significance. Royal watchers note that Anne's approval acts as a kind of reassurance to the public. If the Princess Royal, known for her discipline and straightforward honesty, supports this transition, then it is not merely ceremonial, it is necessary. Her stance also helps soften any doubts surrounding why the king chose Catherine instead of his direct heir, Prince William, for this symbolic transfer of responsibilities. Anne's role in reinforcing this decision is more than familial loyalty, it is strategic. She knows that moments of uncertainty can fracture public trust, and her visible alignment with Charles helps close those cracks. Appearing with him at engagements since the announcement, she has projected an image of solidarity, subtly reminding the nation that the royal family is strongest when it moves as one. At 70 years, Anne remains tireless in her own commitments, often carrying out hundreds of engagements each year. That she continues to shoulder her duties while standing firmly behind her brother's bold choice shows the depth of her devotion in lending her voice and presence to this transition. Princess Anne has not only supported the king, but has also helped steady the crown itself, ensuring that Catherine steps into her new responsibilities with both dignity and the full backing of the Windsor family. But was Annie's steadfast support meant to clear the path for Catherine's rise? Keep watching to see. Catherine becomes the king's quiet strength. As the nation tried to grasp the meaning of Charles's public words, the private story unfolding behind palace walls revealed a deeper, more human side to the monarch's struggle. It was at Sandringham, away from the cameras and the weight of protocol, that he first confided in Catherine. Their conversation stretched long into the night, punctuated not by speeches or royal formality, but by the kind of silences that carry truths too heavy for words. He did not want pity, those close to him explained. He wanted someone who understood. And Catherine, with her own scars from illness, understood completely. Her battle with cancer, announced in March 2024 and placed into remission by January 2025, had left her with both strength and vulnerability. She has spoken before about the exhaustion, the anxiety, and the fear that lingered even after treatment ended. That experience gave her not only resilience, but also empathy. When Charles opened up about his diagnosis, she recognized the tremor in his voice and the quiet dread that accompanies every doctor's update. In her, he found not a royal duty-bound listener, but a fellow survivor who could meet his fears with unspoken solidarity. This shared vulnerability has drawn them closer than ever before. Late-night talks over tea, slow walks through the gardens of Sandringham, and moments of simple stillness forged a bond that goes beyond titles. For years, Charles has admired Catherine's steadiness, privately calling her my rock during her illness. Now, as his own health falters, he leans on that same strength. It was this trust, built away from the public eye, that informed his decision to place the future of the crown in her hands. Those who watched Catherine at Buckingham Palace during Charles's historic 2025 address saw her poised, flawless in her navy coat, embodying royal elegance. Yet those standing closer noticed the small tells, a slight tremor in her clasped hands, the sheen of unshed tears, but not the muffled sobs that slipped through and once she stepped away from the spotlight. It was not just the gravity of being entrusted with sovereignty that overwhelmed her. It was the ache of witnessing someone she deeply respects admit to frailty. Friends say hearing Charles speak so openly stirred both pride and heartbreak in Catherine. She felt the enormity of his trust pressing on her shoulders even as her heart ached for his struggle. To the public, the address was a constitutional moment. To the family, it was something far more intimate, a father figure turning to a daughter-in-law, asking her to carry a legacy because he believed she could. That belief, born from nights of shared fear and resilience, has now reshaped the very future of the monarchy. Catherine chosen as the king's successor. When Charles named her as his successor, it carried the intimacy of a father's love as much as the authority of a sovereign's command. Catherine, who stood poised yet trembling, felt both honored and heartbroken in the same breath. Her tears, though hidden from the cameras, revealed the depth of her emotions, not only for the king but also for William, who remained stoic beside his ailing father, for her children, who adore their grandfather, and for the monarchy she now shoulders in its moment of fragility. The choice of Catherine over Prince William stunned the nation and set off a wave of speculation. Why bypass the heir to the throne, the man long destined to succeed Charles? Insiders suggest the decision was not about exclusion, but about timing and necessity. William's role as Prince of Wales already demands a relentless commitment, preparing for his future reign, guiding his children, and supporting his wife during her own recovery. Charles saw in his son the guardian of long-term stability, but in Catherine, he recognized someone uniquely suited to address the present crisis. She became, in effect, a regent-like figure capable of carrying the monarchy through this period of uncertainty. Her personal journey was pivotal. Catherine's battle with cancer in 2024 transformed her from a royal figure into a symbol of human resilience. By January 2025, when she was declared in remission, her openness had already inspired millions. She did not hide the exhaustion, anxiety, or fear of recurrence. Instead, she spoke of them honestly, connecting with people who had walked similar paths. Whether planting Catherine's rose in honor of cancer charities or comforting patients during hospital visits, she radiated authenticity. That bond with the public, forged through vulnerability, gave her a moral authority that transcended royal protocol. Charles, sensitive to the currents of modern society, saw her as the unifying figure the monarchy urgently needed. Behind palace doors, the bond between Charles and Catherine had already deepened. Shared nights of quiet conversation, handwritten notes exchanged during treatment, and reflective walks through the palace gardens built a connection that went beyond titles. He admired her bravery, her unshakable kindness, and her ability to face fear with dignity. To Charles, entrusting her with sovereignty was not only strategic, it was profoundly personal. It was his way of honoring her, not just as a princess, but as family, as someone he believed could bridge the monarchy's past with its uncertain future. William welcomed the decision, seeing it as both a tribute to his father and recognition of Catherine's strength. Friends say the couple view themselves as partners, his steadiness balancing her empathy, together steadying the crown. It was a bold break from tradition, signaling a monarchy adapting to survive. For Catherine, it wasn't about precedent, but a calling. Her humanity made her the right choice for this moment. But was William's embrace of this change a quiet act of love, or the first step in reshaping the monarchy itself? Stay with us as the story deepens. A family united in duty and devotion. King Charles's announcement reverberated through the royal household, each member absorbing its weight in their own way. At the press conference, Prince William stood close to his father, his posture steady, though his eyes betrayed the complexity within, admiration for Catherine's courage, worry for Charles's health, and an awareness that his own responsibilities edged ever closer. Insiders reveal William was not just a bystander, but an active supporter of the king's decision. Protecting Catherine's well-being has remained his priority, even as he respects her resilience. He's her fiercest advocate, one confidant noted, ensuring she is never burdened beyond her strength. Queen Camilla, poised beside Charles, placed a gentle hand on his arm, a silent reassurance that carried the depth of decades. Her serene presence masked her own battles, nagging foot pain and a history of pneumonia, but she has long embodied quiet endurance. Away from the cameras, she has offered Catherine guidance rooted in experience, practical, empathetic, and unvarnished. Her advice has helped ease Catherine into the role thrust upon her. Camilla has lived every shade of scrutiny, a palace aide explained, and she shares her lessons with genuine compassion. For the younger royals, the change has been felt in more personal ways. George, Charlotte, and Louis treasure their time with Grandpa Charles, whether it's planting flowers in the garden or listening to his whimsical stories. Yet Catherine is mindful of protecting them from the full weight of unfolding events. Charlotte, perceptive beyond her years, has begun asking delicate questions about her grandfather's health. Her tender embrace at a recent gathering moved William to tears, her quiet strength echoing the composure she displayed at Queen Elizabeth II's funeral. George, with growing awareness of his future role, has taken to checking on his mother, his small gestures of care reflecting his father's protective instincts. Louis, ever mischievous, brings bursts of joy, his playful charm coaxing rare laughter from Charles, even in hospital corridors. Beyond the immediate family, the wider circle of royals has rallied. Princess Anne, unwavering as always, and the Duke of Edinburgh have lent steadfast support, their private solidarity reinforcing the strength of the institution. In moments like these, it is love, duty, and unity that bind them together, reminding the world that Catherine's tears were not just for a king in decline, but for a family standing shoulder to shoulder through uncertain times. Catherine's quiet strength, Catherine, Princess of Wales, has long shown that resilience is not the absence of pain, but the ability to rise from it with dignity. When she stood off stage during King Charles's announcement, her silent tears were not weakness, but evidence of a heart deeply entwined with both family and duty. What the public glimpsed was a woman who feels intensely yet channels those emotions into strength, a quality that has defined her journey ever since her cancer diagnosis in March 2024. Declared in remission by January 2025, Catherine's recovery did not mark the end of her struggle, but the beginning of another demanding phase. The exhaustion, the anxiety, and the lingering fear of recurrence were battles that few could see, yet she carried them with honesty. She never hid the truth of how difficult post-treatment life could be, often reminding others that healing is not a straight road. In those admissions lay her greatest strength. She became relatable, a figure whose vulnerability resonated with millions who saw their own battles mirrored in hers. Her strength thrives in simple joys, walks through Kensington Gardens, soft piano melodies, and laughter with George, Charlotte, and Louis. Messy cupcakes and bedtime stories ground her more than grandeur ever could. She's not trying to be perfect, a friend said. She's just trying to be present, and that's where her true resilience lies. This same authenticity follows her into public life. At a cancer charity event earlier this year, she spoke openly about the invisible struggles of remission. Instead of polished speeches, she offered understanding. "I'm still learning every day," she told one patient. Her words simple but powerful. Observers note that this honesty has shifted her image from a graceful princess to a leader of quiet authority, someone whose influence grows not from grandeur, but from empathy. It was this Catherine that Charles saw when he entrusted her with sovereignty, recognizing in her a voice capable of uniting people in moments of uncertainty. Within the palace, her presence is steadying. William leans on her counsel, finding in her practical wisdom the calm needed when decisions feel heaviest. Charles, too, has found in her a confidant. Their shared health challenges created an unspoken bond. Late teas in palace rooms or gentle conversations in Sandringham Gardens often touch both family joys and the realities of illness. Even the Welsh children draw from her quiet strength. Charlotte mirrors her composure. George takes small steps into protective awareness, and Louis, ever-spirited, clings to her with an instinctive trust in her steadiness. Her resilience has been no accident, but the result of years of quiet preparation. Through diplomacy, countless royal duties, and her deeply personal health journey, Catherine has shaped herself into a figure both compassionate and strategic. Her tears for Charles were filled with love, but behind them was also determination. The resolve of a woman who never sought the spotlight, yet has built the strength to carry it when it comes. But could those quiet years of preparation have been leading to this very moment? Keep watching. Catherine's new path. What lies ahead for Catherine, Princess of Wales, is not only the promise of a crown, but the challenge of guiding the monarchy through one of its most fragile chapters. King Charles's announcement in 2020 reshaped the royal order instantly, stirring debate across Britain and far beyond. For Catherine, the tears she shed that day carried layers of meaning: grief for a father-in-law confronting illness and awe at the immense responsibility suddenly placed upon her. Her personal battles have already forged the resilience needed for this moment. When diagnosed with cancer in March 2024, Catherine faced months of draining treatment under relentless public scrutiny. By January 2025, doctors declared her in remission. Yet, she spoke candidly about the exhaustion and fear that lingered. Her honesty turned her into a symbol of courage, connecting her to millions who saw her not as an untouchable royal, but as a woman who understood suffering. That same authenticity is now what sets her apart as a leader. Unlike the traditional image of a princess confined to ceremonial duties, Catherine is shaping her new role with intention. Insiders reveal she is working with advisors on issues close to her heart: mental health, children's well-being, and environmental sustainability, causes long championed by King Charles himself. Her approach reflects a vision of monarchy that evolves rather than resists change. At home, she and William are instilling these values in George, Charlotte, and Louis, balancing royal heritage with the freedom to live as children first. The public response has been overwhelming. Hashtags like Catherine Leads dominate social media, hailing her as a modern figure of hope. Still, critics argue the decision overshadows William's rightful place as heirs. Those close to the family insist otherwise, noting William not only supported but encouraged the choice, determined to protect Catherine while honoring his father's wishes. Behind all of this is Charles's uncertain health. His 2024 cancer diagnosis and rumored complications cast doubt over the future. Yet his trust in Catherine reflects optimism that the monarchy's survival depends on shared strength and adaptability. In the turbulent landscape of the British monarchy, Catherine's rise to a central position of power is not merely a decision made out of necessity, but a reflection of King Charles's strategic foresight. Amid controversy and division, Catherine has consistently embodied elegance, devotion, and the kind of quiet strength that the monarchy desperately needs to maintain public trust. Her being entrusted at such a pivotal moment signifies that the royal family still has a firm anchor. Catherine is not someone who seeks the spotlight for herself, yet it is precisely her humility and deep sense of duty that have won her the admiration and confidence of the people. When they look at her, they see the image of a modern woman, a devoted mother, and a potential leader capable of guiding the monarchy through stormy waters. The road ahead will undoubtedly be fraught with challenges, but if there is one figure strong enough to shoulder them, it is Catherine. And perhaps, in years to come, King Charles's decision today will be remembered as the single most crucial step in safeguarding the legacy of the monarchy in the 21st century.